What's up, everybody? Welcome to Moneyline Media. Hope you guys are all having a great day, a great week, a great month, a great year. Welcome to the show. We are going to be joined in just a moment by Lofa Tatupu, former Seattle Seahawk. Spent his college career at USC. He's a two-time national champion, three-time Pro Bowler.
First team All-Pro in 2007. Seattle Seahawks 35th anniversary team. He's also assistant linebackers coach. He was assistant. That's not like Yoda. He was the assistant linebackers coach with the Seahawks. He's going to be joining us right away. Huge advocate for CBD. We cannot wait to talk to him about everything.
Yes.
How's it going, man?
Yo.
Thanks for coming on. Like the Sonics jersey.
Beautiful.
Who is it? Oh, Ray Allen.
You already know who it is.
Awesome.
Well, thanks so much for coming on, man. We appreciate having you here.
Yeah, man. Right on. You guys both, where you at? New York? New Jersey?
New Jersey. I'm New York.
Yep.
Wow, you guys get along, huh?
Somewhat.
I'm originally from Brooklyn, so that's
Yeah. Right on.
So, Lofa, if you could just tell us a little bit about your recruitment process and how you ended up at USC.
SC. Well, I guess I'll go back to high school real quick because before SC I was at University of Maine, which a lot of people don't know, and so I didn't get recruited out of high school. I played quarterback and middle linebacker, which is an odd combination, but I had UConn, Rutgers, and Temple. Those are the only Division I schools that wanted me. They wanted me to play quarterback. And I was like, I don't see many 5'11 quarterbacks. And I don't see any Samoan quarterbacks either in the NFL. So I'm going to go play linebacker for University of Maine. And Jack Cosgrove had a lot of great linebackers at the time. Stephen Cooper, Brandon McGowan, guys that I'd play with, that they also went to the NFL. For 7-8 years. So I went there my freshman year, played well. And I decided that I was going to transfer out to, because the dream was always the NFL. But I had to prove it because I was, not the biggest, fastest, or strongest. I had to prove that I could play, on the biggest stage. So that's when I sent tapes out everywhere. And USC only took me because I was about to go to Oregon. I was going to be a Duck.
Ooh.
Quack.
Yeah. So the USC, my dad had sent the tape out to USC, his old college, and I didn't know about it. So we went out there and to see my mom. She's in Southern California. And then I was going to fly up, I thought, to Oregon to sign my letter of intent. And so we were flying out of LAX. Before we flew out, we made a stop. He's like, I just want to go see the campus. I haven't been there since, I left, really. And I was like, okay. So we go, and when I get there, there's like, we're at Heritage Hall, which is like the, the main part of the campus where all the athletics department is and everything. And I mean, all the Heisman trophies are right there,
Yeah.
Oh man, it was insane. I was like, damn. And this whole time I think I'm going up to Oregon just after this. I thought my dad was just checking out the old stomping grounds. And the coaching staff comes out and meets me. And then I realized, oh shit, like I'm going on a tour right now. And so they took me around and, Pete and all the coaches, they watched the film again. And then there was 2 scholarships left that year. And one went to me and one went to Frosty Rucker, my boy, who played, I think, 13 or 14 years. He just wrapped up his career in like 2017 or something crazy.
Right.
So those were the last 2 scholarships that SC had that year.
Awesome.
Talk about your SC career. It's impossible to talk about your SC career without talking about you being a national champion, first team All-American. What was that like for you? The national championship, the whole program, everything.
Oh, yeah, the national championship was everything. That was the first time, I think, other than like Little League Baseball, where I'd won like an outright championship. We came close. We came close in high school. We went to the playoffs at Maine, which was really exciting. We lost to Northern Iowa eventually in like the semifinals or the quarterfinals. But that first year, because SC had just won 11-2. Carson Palmer won the Heisman. Troy Polamalu, was our best, player, on the team too. Like it was a lot of hype, right? And then now it's like, okay, you, Matt Liner, and a bunch of young guys have to fill in for these, these two guys that are going to be amazing in the NFL. Yeah. And so there's a lot of pressure put on it, but iron sharpens iron, and we went toe to toe in practice over and over, with the likes of Mike Williams, Reggie Bush, Lendale White. And so when you're playing against the best, it makes it real easy to suit up on Saturdays. And so the 2 years we were there, 25-1 in 26 games. We lost one game in triple overtime to a guy by the name of Aaron Rodgers.
Well, you talk about how dominant you guys were. The Pac-10 at the time, now Pac-12, definitely have fallen off a bit. You think they'll ever be able to get back to prominence, like potentially compete with the SEC?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I really thought that UW, when they hired Chris Peterson, because I always said it when he was at Boise, I was like, yo, man, if somebody ever just gives this guy the reins to, not that Boise's not a real program, but if they give him the reins to a program where kids are knocking on your door as opposed to you going and knocking on their door, I was like, yo, and you saw it in his third year. Everybody, he had Marcus Peters, Shaq Thompson, like he's got legit ballers in the NFL, Corey Littleton, and that's what he's able to do. And he put out a bunch of studs from Boise State too, over his career. So I think, Arizona State, they're getting, with Herm Edwards and Antonio Pierce, and they're starting to get the coaches that can draw the recruits. Like, look at when I was there, and we were kind of considered linebacker with the likes, me, Cush, Clay, Keith Rivers, Kaluka Mayava, Ray Maualuga. It was just, every year just churning them out. That was because Ken Norton Jr. was going into kids' households and saying, hey, I played at the highest level, won 3 Super Bowls. I'm not saying this is how he said it, but he's a three-time Super Bowl champion, 3 in a row, 4 or 5-time Pro Bowler. He's done, and he's played Sam, Mike, and Will, and that's, I think, the best selling point for a kid that plays any of those positions is like, okay, this guy, he's done it at the highest level, and he knows how to do it because he's played all 3 positions. And, there's just, like, I can learn all the technique I want until I'm blue in the face, but I'm never going to be able to tell a kid that's a Sam linebacker, how it feels and how it should feel like Nort could do. And so, that's really where they won, where we won. Pete won with recruiting, and then, talent wins, especially at the collegiate level.
Absolutely.
Look at all those rosters that Alabama has, man.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I think with a couple hires, they could, the Pac could find them back in there, but it's tough, man. Saban's got to figure it out pretty well down there.
Yeah, he does.
Definitely. So it's the second round of the 2005 NFL Draft. The Seattle Seahawks move up 9 spots, and they call your name. What was that moment like for you?
It was absolute insanity. Drinks were flying in the air. It was just pure chaos because so we had a draft party, which a lot of people were advising against because the experts said I probably wasn't going to get drafted. But I was like, yo, you know what? I don't care. I'm having a draft party even if I don't get drafted. So we're in Oceanside, California. It's right on a beach at one of my dad's former college teammates' houses, who was nice enough to let us use it. And we got no cell reception.
Oh, jeez.
So first round comes and goes. I haven't heard a thing, and I'm just like, shit. Maybe I shouldn't have drafted. I shouldn't have got declared for the NFL draft. Second round comes, still haven't heard anything. Finally, the ticker. It came up on the ticker like doo 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 doo, like the trade, like you're saying, and then all of a sudden, Boomer, Chris Berman saying that, in the Seahawks pick linebacker at USC, Lofa Tatupu. And like I said, the place went nuts because no one had any idea. So now I'm trying to find any cell reception just to call my agent. Like, yo, why didn't you tell me? And so he's like, man, I've been trying to reach you for a half hour. And so the first thing Holmgren does, he gets on the phone. He's like, hey, man, you sure you want to play football? And I was like, Coach, I got you, man. I'll be up there, and don't worry. I absolutely want to play football. I've been waiting for this day since I was 6 years old.
Amazing. So your first season, not a lot of rookies can say this. You were a Pro Bowler. What was it? You led the team in tackles. I mean, not a lot of rookies can say that. What was that like for you? And especially after they were telling you might not get drafted.
It was special to me. I'd be lying if I said that it didn't matter to me. It's not. I played for that Super Bowl, especially when you get the taste of that national championship. Coming off back-to-back national championships, walking right into a Super Bowl run.
Yeah.
Like I was like, this is like it can't get any better. And I was blessed to be just like Holmgren said, with great, team success come individual accolades. And I was blessed to play with the number one offense. I was blessed to play with one of the most underrated defensive line, in the history of football. Man, those guys are incredible. And so I owe it to I was put into a great situation, getting drafted up here. And I knew I wasn't surprised, as horrible as that sounds, that's going past confidence into cocky or arrogance, but it's something I worked for and I believed in, my whole life. And I always felt like I didn't get the credit that I deserve sometimes, but once I got the taste of the championship, man, all that personal stuff falls by the wayside. You don't care.
Right.
So while it was special, I'd give anything just for a Super Bowl ring, man. But I would trade all those Pro Bowls in for a ring, man. No lie.
So not only did you make it there your first year, but you made it there your first 3 years, leading that Seahawks defense, 3 straight Pro Bowls. What do you believe prepared you mentally and physically to come straight out of college into that situation and dominate those first 3 years?
Yeah, intense mental preparation. And, and also I got to give credit to Ken Norton, Rocky Seto, Nick Holt, my linebacker coaches at SC, Pete, his whole staff, because it was ran like a professional organization. And then also, like I said, I had this vision since I was 7 years old. And so it wasn't the first time that I'd been in a locker room. It wasn't the first time I've been to a stadium. I've been in a film room, I had the advantage of a lot of, luxuries that a lot of kids didn't know until they got to the NFL. Some of these kids, they come from a lower division or a smaller school. They don't know what film study is. They don't know what they're looking at. And, Pete and his squad, man, all my coaches did an incredible job of teaching us the why we're doing a blitz, why we're doing, what the run gap is. And it's when you start, the game really slows down when you get that. And I think, a lot of guys, they don't have that advantage. I look at Nick Saban's kids, those guys that come out. I mean, they run so many different variations of 3-4, 4-3 hybrids that they're well versed for any situation. That's why a guy like Hightower, Mosley, they come in right away and they're just studs. So I think that goes a long way. And just wanting it more than a lot of guys. That's really what it comes down to. Because like I said, we all know I wasn't the biggest, strongest, or fastest. So it was just sheer determination and will.
Oh, you bring up that you really wish that you got a ring. I know a year ago you were talking about potentially coming back and getting a ring, but it was under one condition, the legalization of CBD in the NFL. You're a big proponent for that. I think it should be. I think it would help a lot of guys that maybe got addicted to things because of all the pain they're going through. Why are you such a big advocate for it in the NFL? I think I know the answer, but I don't want to speak for you.
Oh, right on. You did your homework. Right on.
I did. We got to.
Yeah. So, when people look back at my career and, they're like, oh, what'd you play, 10 years? No, man, I played 6 years. I mean, I signed on for a 7th with Atlanta, and I tore my other pec, and that's when I was just like, you know what? Like, my mind and body are just not on the same page anymore. And they hadn't been for a long time. I was playing through some stuff that was never on the injury report because it just meant that much to me to be out there playing. I love this sport, love this game. But over the span of my career, the reason my play declined, and even one year I wasn't even out there, but 4 games, 2009, I missed the season with the torn pec on my left side, and then I tore mine on the right side at 12. But the mind-body connection was just disintegrating, and that's what the athlete has over a lot of people, is that they do things effortlessly, seamlessly. It's also known as the zone, or being zoned in, which is where the brand name comes from, because after 10 surgeries, 15 plus concussions, hemp CBD has put me back together, mind, body, and soul, stronger than I've ever been, faster than I've ever been, more alert, mental clarity, focused, it's incredible what it's been able to do for me, because it acts on our cell receptors, and, it doesn't mask pain. It teaches us how to move more efficiently and deal with pain. Whereas the other stuff, the opiates and the anti-inflammatories, those will mask the pain receptors. And now you could be doing more damage. It doesn't hurt because, you're out of your element. So you're running on a bad ankle or a bad knee, and all of a sudden your quad rips because your running pattern's off and your gait's off. Right. So I've been through all that stuff. And when I was really skeptical when I got into the industry on the real estate side and as an investment. And then I took over with my business partner, Matt McCoy, an NFL brother, because we knew how helpful cannabis was. And so through that, I started hearing more and more about CBD as opposed to THC. And I did my research, I did my due diligence, and I found out, all the things that it benefits. Like I said, mental clarity, inflammation in the joints, in the body, gut health, mood stability, which was up and down from the concussions, appetite, either increase or suppression. I was up to 280 pounds when I retired from football, like a year or 2 out, because, I was still eating 4 plates at a sitting, because that's what it required to keep on the weight when I was working out, rigorously. But then now you're not doing that. And now it turns into like a pattern of stress eating and coping, and so I got up to 280. I'm back down to 235, 240. I feel better than I ever have. And even some things that I was going through cognitively, like I said, short-term memory loss, like that was happening at 30 years old. But I had one hit. I got hit so hard, I got fluid in my macula. So, and when you get fluid in your macula, it creates a dark spot. Mm-hmm. And so out of my right eye, I couldn't, not even 5 feet away, I couldn't make out your face if I was looking at you from 5 feet away. And the only thing, it's still there a little bit. It's not as bad, not as severe. The only thing that's, shrunken that is the CBD, because of its anti-inflammatory properties.
Wow. So I got to jog your memory here a little bit now. I know you said a little bit about short-term memory loss, but here's the date, December 2nd, 2007. You become A.J. Feely and the Eagles' worst enemy by intercepting him 3 times. What was clicking for you there?
I was in the zone, man. I was zoned in. No, I've been telling this story, recently, because it's a game that everybody remembers. But I wasn't supposed to play that week. I tore my oblique the week before. I barely made it through that Rams game. And then I went to that next game, and we needed to beat the Eagles to, I think, clinch a playoff berth. And so the game meant everything. And it was tough enough having a torn oblique when I got there, which that's like they say it's a 3 to 4 week injury for you to come back from. I just went out there and played it. I don't know how I did it, but that wasn't even the worst part. When we got there to Philly, like 8 or 9 of us came down with the flu because we all took flu vaccinations like idiots the week before.
Oh man.
Well, they're like, oh, get your flu vax, right? Okay, so the one time I've gotten the flu, like horrible, where I felt like I was just dying, was 07, the week before we go to Philly. So a bunch of us come down with the flu, and I'm just like, oh man, I don't know how I'm going to play now. But we go out there, and the favorite thing for me, Leroy Hill, and Julian Peterson to do was to sit in the end zone where we warmed up, and we would talk shit to the fans. And so this, I look over and they're talking shit, and I'm just like, man, I feel like I'm gonna throw up. I'm dehydrated. I've been getting pumped full of IVs. So I look over and I was like, I can't even talk shit. And like one guy looks at me, he's like, yeah, don't even look over here, Tatupu. And he had some choice words. He was like, in so many words.
The classic Philly fan.
Oh, it was amazing. I love the Philly and New York fans, though. I love them. They're crazy. Yeah. And so, he tells me in so many words that I'm soft because I'm not playing. And so then, I had some words back from him, and I was like, now I'm going to play. And
wow.
I'm going to pick one off. But I lied. I told him I was going to score. And I got 3 interceptions that game, 100 yards, but I didn't score once. And that was what I'll remember the most. That's because my teammates wouldn't let me live that down.
By the way, thank you for that. I appreciate it. As a New York Giants fan, very appreciative of your performance.
All right, so we play this game with all our guests, and you are no exception. It's called Steady Fire, where we ask you random questions. We've talked a lot about your career. Now it's time for some fun stuff. So let's start. I'll start with, if you lost every single one of your USC games, you were the national champion, you guys lost every single game, but you played one team every year, and you crushed them. What team would you want that to be?
UCLA.
Okay.
Get them out of here. Them or Notre Dame. Them or no. Those, my dad played for SC, so growing up, those two teams you do not root for. It was UCLA and Notre Dame. Like even if I had a scholarship, he probably would have been like, nah, you're going to JUCO, and then you're gonna get a scholarship somewhere else.
Awesome.
So what's your favorite home cooked meal?
Ooh. My wife's Italian, and she throws down in the kitchen. So pasta. I mean, she cooks mean steak, but yeah, like I'd have to say any one of her pasta dishes, man. It's just she makes like a homemade meat sauce, and even like she'll make the noodles here and there. I don't know how she does it, but it's incredible.
Awesome. Are you a dessert guy?
I'm not.
I didn't peg you as one, so.
No. Are you?
I am, obviously.
What's your guys' go-to?
I'm a big red velvet. I'm cannolis. I'm half Italian, so
Okay.
My girlfriend,
Dunkin' Donuts.
My girlfriend makes these like Oreo balls with white fudge on them. Like there'll be like the Oreo inside and the white fudge. Really good.
Oh, I would try that, but like it's crazy when we go out to dinner, everybody gets dessert. I'll get another tequila. I'm good. I'm good on the sweets.
Oh, so that brings us go to drink at a bar then.
Top shelf tequila. I mean,
okay.
1942 is pretty bomb. Let's see. Casamigos, okay. Don Julio. I'm a big Don Julio fan. So
okay.
Either the Reposado Añejo or their 42.
So just on the rocks, nothing in it?
Straight up, yeah, on the rocks.
Straight up. Yeah, all right.
That's my speed. I like that.
Yeah. No time for fillers, man.
Absolutely. All right, so you could have one superpower. What would it be? And I'm not allowing you to choose super strength.
You already have that.
What superpower? I would say, man, the ability to either teleport or fly. Just, I want to get there. I want to get there ASAP. So teleport would probably be, but I mean, it's probably gonna take a little longer. So this is the problem with the middle linebacker. They overthink every scenario. So I'm going through every scenario right now of what would be cooler. Flying would definitely be cooler, but the speed of travel of teleporting would be that much quicker. But then you can't fly. So if
Either or, you would have had a touchdown in that game.
Well played. I'm gonna go with fly.
Yeah.
I went skydiving last year, and for that couple minutes where you're just on a free fall, it's the greatest feeling in the world. Like
I have no desire to skydive, but I mean, it's got to be amazing. It's
incredible, incredible.
I see. Like I'm like 200, 40 pounds. I don't know if there's like a weight limit for that.
There is not. You just have to pay extra. If you're over 200 pounds, you got to pay extra.
I'll pay extra. I just want to make sure I come down in one piece.
Yeah.
You're coming down. You might not land in one piece, but you'll come down in one piece.
Right? Oh, man.
What was your favorite stadium to visit? Obviously can't be Seattle.
I mean, yeah, Seattle was incredible. Philly, not just because the good games that I had there, but when they introduced, I have two favorite plays, maybe three. That if we got to go there more than one time, whether it was preseason or regular season, it was like, yeah, this is going to be like, it's a real football atmosphere. So Philly, when they announce you, we were like, yo, we're going to come out as a defense, just say Seattle Seahawks defense. Mm-hmm. And like the guy at the front, he's like, oh no, buddy, you got to go out one at a time. so the first, when they get to announce him, they're like, from Southern California, middle linebacker, Lofa Tatupu. And in unison, the entire stadium just goes, sucks. And it's the coolest thing I've ever seen. It is incredible because they're on, point with it. They're good, man. And so Philly was fun to play at, but Kansas City and Denver, man, those places got rocking. Oh, they get rocking. They love their football. And it was in the Kansas City, you eat the local fare or whatever, you eat the food that's there. So we had barbecue. And the post-game barbecue there is insane.
Really?
All right. So if you could, and I'm going to allow this to be open for Seattle as well, but any city that you've gotten to play in, like gotten to see the city itself, what was your favorite city that you've been to?
You know what? I didn't go out anywhere. Like I didn't go no sightseeing anywhere. Never been much of even a traveler.
Okay.
Yeah. So I don't I think it was not until my third year here that I went to the Space Needle, and everybody's like, what's wrong with you? And I was like, I don't know. I just don't have, I'm not I'm a homebody. I just like kicking it. So I'm trying to think of if I saw anything cool of any places that I traveled. No, I mean, yeah, I don't have any good answer for you on that one, my man. Sorry.
Seattle is a great city, by the way. I went there last year. Phenomenal city. I mean, everything. Capitol Hill is one of the greatest places. You go to bar hop. It's just so much fun. That whole city is just awesome.
June, July, and August, there is not a more gorgeous place than here.
Honestly.
Right? Unreal.
Absolutely.
So you've sacked a lot of guys in your time. You tackled a lot of guys in your time. Is there a person that you didn't tackle or sack that you wish you got the chance to?
That damn Eli Manning. He got rid of He got away from me twice. Because he's a big dude. He's like 6'5".
I was gonna say he's not the fastest though. That might not be the person you want to admit juked you out. Like he's not like Michael Vick.
He didn't outrun me. It was like I have a kill shot, and there's no way I'm gonna miss. You get to hit a quarterback, you go as hard as you can, and even if you don't get them, but you get a good piece of them, you're happy, right? because that's stuck in the back of their brain. They're like, man, I got to get rid of this ball. He stepped up, he swam, he pass rushed me. And I was like, damn. And I mean, I was coming to just clean his clock, man. It was over. He was going to be out of the game. Drew Brees got away from me, I think. But right. It's shocked that Drew Brees and Eli Manning get away from me. But my first ever sack was against Michael Vick.
Impressive.
That is impressive. I mean, also very interesting that Drew Brees and Eli Manning, probably two of the slower guys, got away from you. But Michael Vick, one of the fastest guys in the league, you got.
They killed me with their slow motion. But,
yeah, I know. You were.
The funniest thing with Mike Vick, so I'm coming, and I was like, oh, he doesn't see me. He doesn't see me. Like, I'm like in my head saying this. I'm flying, and last second, I just see him head whip, and he like hits the ground horizontally, like, and his elbow barely hits the ground. So they call him down as I fly over him, and I tap him with my toe, with my cleat. And so he's down, and I'm just like, that's a sack, right? And Bryce Fisher's like, hey, it counts, man. You sacked Michael Vick. But he like matrixed me and bounced back up and was getting ready to run. And I was like, man, I can't believe just because his elbow was down. It was so close.
Crazy. All right. Well, you are of island heritage. So we're going to put you onto a new island now. We're going to call it Desert Island. You're by yourself the rest of your life, stranded on an island. You got to bring one music album, one movie, and one book with you. What are you bringing?
A music album, it'll be anything by my man Collie Buddz. Good Life, Hybrid, Kelly Roots, the latest one they put out. He put out. Yeah, man, that guy, I mean, I listen to all his music, on repeat. One movie, I'm going to go, what movie can I mean, anything by Adam Sandler. But I don't know. I'm going to go football since we're talking ball. I'm going to go with The Program.
You can go with The Longest Yard. Adam Sandler was in that.
You know what? That is a good one. I'll go with The Longest Yard. Yeah. Adam Sandler's the man. That's my dude. And then a book, I'm going to go with The Playbook.
All right.
Good choice.
All right. Thank you so much for coming on. We had a blast with you. We're going to definitely have you back on because we got to talk some other Seahawks stuff, especially with the draft coming up and stuff. But we got to have you back on, man. You've been great. Thank you so much.
Speaking of which, we've done this show for over a year now. Had a lot of guys on, a lot of great guys. And, I tell my mom about it, and she's like, yeah. I mentioned that I'm talking to a Seahawk tonight, and she's like, oh, you're talking to a Seahawk? She's a big Seahawks fan. She loves the colors. So
I was going to say, what did she like, Largent or Zorn from, back in the day?
No, she just likes the jerseys. So she's a Seahawks fan. She's talking about it all day. She's like, oh, Seahawks tonight, right? Seahawks tonight.
Man, this has been a pleasure. I appreciate you. I'll absolutely come back on.
Thanks so much, man.
Stay safe. Stay well, man.
All right.
Awesome.
All right. That was Lofa Tatupu, Seattle Seahawks alum, USC alum,
check out his Seahawks. Check out his Seahawks podcast too.
Yes.
Very into that. Check out his CBD stuff. Great guy. Can't wait to have him back on.
Most definitely. Awesome, dude. Guys, thanks for tuning in. Have a great night. Stay safe. Stay well. Stay hydrated.